Hey everyone, Chris Sawyer here. Welcome back to the Varietal Show. I got some fun wines to taste you on, and I've got my great friend Shane Finley is in the house here in Sonoma County. I am at Gravenstein Grill right now, and welcome Shane. Hi.
Thanks, Chris. Good to be here. Nice neighborhood haunt, just right down the road from my house.
Yeah, absolutely.
So commute was super easy.
So Shane, I just showed everyone that cool label. Tell everyone a little bit about this brand. I mean, a different episode that we did, I did with Shane a little bit ago, and it had his Shane wine. So obviously Shane Finley, Shane. Tell them about this little, that's one of the funnest little labels I've ever seen.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. It's this is our Constant Disruptions brand. It's an offshoot.
Disruption.
It's which is I heard quite a bit as a youth. So it's an offshoot of Shane Wines where we're working with different varieties. Hence, we're playing into the variety show. Different varieties than what we do from Shane Wines. But more importantly, the name comes from a discipline slip I got when I was in 6th grade in middle school back in Bloomington, Minnesota. My teacher wrote that I was creating constant disruptions in the classroom. My mom saved the discipline slip and sent it to me a few years ago, and I thought that I needed to do something with that name. And as a result, we took the name, and this label here is a photo of my parents in 1971, I believe, in Central Park. So before they were married. I've always loved this photo, so we melded the two concepts together to come up with the original label. And then we kicked a different kind of image off for the Cabernet, just to kind of play with different things. So the idea on Constant Disruptions is fun, different takes on different varieties, different takes on appellations, different fermentation styles, more old world inspired wines, but yet really having the California ethos, right?
Yeah.
So we have two different Sauvignons. We can call this our Sauvignon series. We have our 2019 Sauvignon Blanc from Russian River Valley and a 2018 Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa Valley.
Yeah. Well, I love this wine. This Sauvignon Blanc right now is opening up really well. This is a new vintage for him. But the thing is, what I really got out of it when we talked before we went on is the green characteristics of it. So it almost has like a green tea. We talked about honeydew melon kind of things.
Key lime.
Maybe if it was an applesauce, it would have to be Granny Smith. It'd have to be green. But I love that because really, as we're getting into springtime, summertime especially, you think about freshness. This is really fresh on the palate.
Very fresh, and then you have those green notes, which also for me, oftentimes when I get white wines that have those kind of green, kind of pithy fruit notes, you get bright acidity, real fresh as you mentioned, but also you layer that on with the floral, kind of this white flower aromatic that comes in. To me, the alcohol comes in a little bit lower on this wine. We're barely touching a little over 13% at 13.1. It's an acid-driven wine, light on its feet, fun and fresh, all stainless steel fermented. It's the Muscat selection of Sauvignon Blanc, so it gives it that real fun pop.
Yeah. Which always has a melon note to it.
It's not that kind of grassy gooseberry. So it's a fun, nice, Russian River Sauvignon Blanc. It's an easy quaffer and really delicious, good, food-friendly summer wine.
I love it. So Shane and I have known each other for 2 decades. I first met him through Costa Brown, but he was with Copan before that, a great brand that did a lot more Rhone style as well as Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. Then moved on to Linmar and now doing stuff with 37 Wines, which wins awards all the time. You've been, he started out, pretty much as behind in a kiosk or a little business cubicle.
Yep.
And decided to give that business up for moving here to California and becoming a winemaker, and he's done a great job. So, one of the reasons he's been here before too is he was the one that called me when the 2017 fire happened, and where he produces his wines very close to Coffey Park. He said, Chris, I can't drive by this place anymore. we have to do something to raise money for these people that lost their houses, and we did a great auction here and a charity event, and I really felt like it's a good thing to show him off right now because his wine's a killer too. So tell us a little bit about this cab real quick.
So this is our cab, Napa Valley. It's my first stab at Cabernet since I left Paul Hobbs in 2006. At that point I was a cellar master, just kind of trying to learn the ropes of Cabernet winemaking, and it didn't really fit. Cabernet's never really fit the profile of Shane wines because, you know, as I don't have a degree in winemaking, I had kind of hands-on apprenticeship type of training with Pinot Noir and Syrah winemakers, either in the Northern Rhone, Australia, or back here in Sonoma County with Copan, Costa Brown, and then obviously when you mentioned moving into the Linmar. So I had the opportunity in 2018 to get some Coombsville grapes from Napa Valley, Coombsville Cabernet Sauvignon. I was really attracted to it. It's kind of a young, up-and-coming appellation, very cold, kind of fits what I'm doing with the Pinot Noirs and the different wines, and fits into the paradigm of constant disruptions, this kind of different take on classic varieties. So this is a cool climate cab. It's plenty of fruit that you would get in California, but not the jammy kind of fruit. Nice savory aspects. There's some nice kind of tobacco leaf, cigar box, savory things that go with that kind of kirschy, cassis, red fruit, almost plummy type of notes. We didn't use any new oak. We didn't ferment it. We didn't age it very long. So it's kind of tried to capture more of a true essence of Cabernet. I was saying, you know, I've had a lot of folks comment this feels like a Cabernet from maybe Napa Valley in the mid-90s. So it's kind of, if you're looking for a Cabernet that's not as full throttle, this is your guy.
And not as tannic too. I think that's a really important thing here. I think that area is a very cool area in comparison to the majority of Napa Valley. And it's because it's really just past, if you're going east-west, it's just past Carneros. And so it gets the wind that's coming in through the Petaluma Gap, where he makes, you know, he gets a lot of grapes from Petaluma Gap going that way. But this way, the wind keeps going and it's hitting that hill too. So it's much more like Bordeaux style kind of climate conditions, where it's blowing off the ocean. In that case, it's blowing off of the San Pablo Bay. So it's really that lower part of Napa Valley up against the hills of the Baca Mountains. And so I really love this style because this is fruit. This is not so much oak, and I don't feel like if I bought a bottle of this, I'd be paying for your barrels, damn it. Versus high quality fruit. And that's what I really get out of this. It feels very food friendly right now. I think a good pairing with this would be duck, actually. Maybe with some wild berry kind of compote there, kind of as the base, or a blackberry au jus, some kind of thing like that. But it just has that full Cabernet Sauvignon flavor, which sometimes you don't really get. You know, I mean, I'm sorry to say, it's too much winemaker. This is not all about the winemaker, it's about the site, it's about that appellation. I think this is a great example.